So now in this, we are going to talk about, like on that day, I told you about a question basically in which we don't have to change anything and we have to do a cumulative sum on the same table. Like for example, if you are getting 10 rows and if you are seeing 10 rows in a table, then without changing the order of that table or without changing the rows in a different order, you have to give me a cumulative sum. And in the last part, I told you how to do that with the help of row number. So now today we'll solve some one or two questions on row number and dense ranking. After that, we will move towards our analytical window functions. So I'm going to use my class 7 database. And I hope all of you have this data set handy in your SQL server. If not, then please make it handy and try to join 3 to 4 tables or 5 tables. Just make a complete use of that data set and try to solve problems. And if you think you are good enough to solve problems, I have a single assignment in which there are 13 to 14 questions based on customers data set. So all of you who think you are prepared, I will give you that assignment in the drive only. If you are able to solve that complete assignment, then you can appear for a product-based company interview also and a service-based company interview also for SQL. So today I will add that assignment also. So now let's take our table. Select star from orders table. Okay. Let's take customers table as well. So select star from customers table. Now, what we have to do is we have to run these both of them. Now see, there are like two tables. First is like our orders table and second is our customers table. My question is, I want top 3 customers, top 3 customers from each country based on the revenue, company got from them. So I want in every country, I want top 3 customers based on the revenue company got from them. So basically revenue is nothing but your sum of total order amount. So this is the hint that I want to give you. Now you have to solve this query. And one more hint, to solve this query, you need a CT or subquery. So you can use either subquery or CT, and then you have to use any ranking functions. So I have given you all the hint. Just I want you to write a query for me. So now in this class, we will not waste that much time. I will write the query for you and will explain you. But after that, you can solve these kind of questions. So now what we will do is first we'll try to take out the, see, by seeing this query, you people think that it is going to be easy. But now this query will tell you, like this is these kind of queries are asked in interviews. And if you'll see these queries will appear you very easy. Like it's very easy query. But see, it's not a easy query. First thing, because this query is a combination of group by and window functions. So in this query, we have to use group by and window functions in a single query. Now tell me, how many of you think that you know how to write this query? How many of you have confidence that I can write this kind of query? Any one of you who can write this query for me? Or you can raise, like turn on your mic and you can write it for me. So now, what will be the first step? So any one of you, please turn on your mic and tell me what will be the first step. The step first will be understanding the data. Understanding the data. Without, like before actually jumping into the question, you have to understand the data. Now tell me, in this table, by seeing the data and all the things that we have done in past for this table only, is there single order from every customer or multiple orders from single customer? Tell me, what is the answer of this? So this is the question that you have to first ask yourself. Like, is there single order for every customer? Like, for example, if there is Pragya or if there is Durgesh, then if there is only single order, or there is something like that, ki Durgesh have ordered 5 times. So there are 5 orders related to Durgesh. So if there are 5 orders related to Durgesh, then total order amount of Durgesh will be adding all those five adding all those five in a single bucket. But if there is single order from single customer, like every customer has done a single order only, at that point of time, this question becomes only window function question. At that time, it will become only window function question. You don't have to use any group by and anything. But at random, when people ask you this kind of questions based on e-commerce data, then it will never be a single order, because in every company, see, if you are using Amazon, you have quite multiple things on Amazon, multiple things on Flipkart, multiple things on different. Are you clear, all of you? Is everybody clear? Hello? Is this thing clear to everyone?
What
एक
does
बार और
okay repeat.
Okay. So see, to answer this question, you have to understand the data first. See, if take an example of Amazon. If you are ordering from Amazon, or if multiple people are ordering from Amazon, if they are only doing a single order, or Amazon has limited them, like you can only do a single order from Amazon and you cannot do your next order after doing your first order, then you know that in the data set you will get only single row for single customer for that order. But now, in all kind of e-commerce data sets, this is not the case. A person can do 5 times order in a month or 100 times order in a year. So there will be multiple rows for a single customer also. So if there will be multiple rows for single customer, then there comes something known as group by, because you have to first group the data and you have to take out the sum for a particular identity. So if I am Durgesh, if I have done 10 orders and I want to get top 3 customers from every country. So first what I have to do, suppose Durgesh, Pragya and Vivekanand. Suppose these 3 people are part of the dataset. Now, if we want to get top 2, so first we have to check like how many times Pragya has bought something, how many times Durgesh has bought something, how many times Vivekanand has bought something. First we have to combine their all orders and revenue from them, and then you have to make a single bucket. And after that single bucket is made, then you can sort and you can get top 2. So first thing is combine all their values into a single bucket. If they have done 6 orders, combine all that 6 orders revenue into a single bucket. After that, you can get top 3, top 2, top 1. But that in that case, you have to use window functions and group by both. But if there is only single record for particular customer, then you don't have to group anything. Then directly you can do a window functions. So now I will tell you how to write this query. First thing that you will do is select. Select. Now we want customer, like top 3 customers from every country. So we will take country column. We will take customer ID column. We'll write the join condition also from customers. The join orders O on C dot customer ID is equal to O dot customer ID. First, we have did the join condition. Now, country dot customer ID we will take and we will write sum of total order amount. Because a person can do multiple orders. So, sum of total order amount. Now, if we have taken 2 columns and we have done sum of total order amount, what is necessary thing that we have to put here? We have to put a group by also. Group by country, comma, customer ID. Now we have to give our top, we have to find out something which is top 3. So we have to rank them also. So now we'll put a comma and we'll put a row number or dense rank. So we'll put dense rank. Now now in the over clause, what will be our partition? What will be our partition? Just see the question and tell me what will be the partition. I want top 3 customers from each country. So our partition will be country. So we will do partition by country. Now, what will be the order by scenario? What will be in order by? Which thing will be there in the order by clause? Only an intelligent person can tell me like what will be in the order by clause. Correct. No, Mudita, you are wrong. See, Mudita, if you want to rank top 3 people based on revenue, then customer ID, if you'll do a order by with customer ID, then customer ID is an integer. Only the customer ID will get sorted in ascending or descending order. So you have to see which thing has combined sum of all the values in a single bucket. This sum of total order amount. So you have to use this thing here. Order by sum total order amount descending, because this thing tells you for a particular customer what is the total amount. So for every country, you have to sort the customers based on their total order amount that they have spent in all time. So now we'll give it a name as RNK. Now this is our first query. That will give me some data like this. See, it will give me some data like this. So in Australia, this is the ranking and this is the value. And we'll give this value a name as total turnover. Total turnover. Now, in this query that we have written, we are getting the data for all the people in Australia. Like there are a lot of ranks. But now we have to place this inside a CT with CT as. And now we have put this inside a CT. Now this is a common table expression. Now what we have to do is from this common table expression, like we will take country or we'll take everything, select a star from this common table expression where what? Where R and K, which is our rank, less than equal to 3 because we are only interested in top 3. Is this thing correct? Yes or no? Or we are missing something? Are we missing something? So let's check and run. Let's run and check this query. So in Australia, these are our top 3 customers. In Austria, these are our top 3 customers. In Belgium, these are our top 3 customers. In France, these are our top 3 customers. Now, if you want to give name as well, if you want to give their name also, you just have to write first name, comma, you have to pass in group by first name, and that's it. So see, Kellen, Cruz, and Michael. These are the 3 people from Australia with the maximum total revenue, and these are the top 3 people. So this kind of query you can expect from a product-based company. So see, what happens when people get this kind of query, they skip this part. They skip this part. They skip this part. And they skip this part also. And this is something that they give in the output. Now you will see that this is also giving me top 3 people, but this is not correct. This is not a correct approach because in this approach, you are thinking that every person has done a single order only. So this is not a correct approach. This is the correct approach. Is this thing clear to all of you? Is there anyone who was not able to understand this thing?
सर एक बार क्वेश्चन ऊपर से दिखा सकते हैं वापस से?
ओके, तुम्हें तो समझ में आ गया है, मुझे पता है। बाकी क्वेश्चन तुम देख लो।
सर यहाँ पे स्टार्टिंग में लेफ्ट जॉइन क्यों नहीं यूज कर रहे हम लोग?
Okay, basically here
हम्म,
in this query, na,
हाँ
bro, you can use left join also. But why I am not using left join is basically in my mind, I know that this table is completely mapped. So every person that who is in customers table has ordered something. So that's why I'm not used left join. But yeah, left join basically not see, hello. Rajas, listen my thing. See, if you are finding out the total customers, the top 3 customers, then according to you, if you are using left join, so when I will use left join? When I have a doubt in my mind that there can be a customer who has done no order and that customer has done it for a country where there are less than 3 orders.
यस
So for example, in Australia, if there are only 2 orders from sorry, for example, if there are only 2 orders from Australia and there are 3 people in customers table from Australia, at that point, I will use left join because I want to get a 0 value there. Because at that time, the person who has done nothing, no order, but he was from Australia, he will get in the top 3 list with a 0 zero total turnover also. So in that
Mhm.
scenario, we can use left join. But I am interested in people who have buyed something. So that's why I have used inner join. Are you clear?
Mhm.
समझ में आया? Like,
Yes,
and this
yes.
was a good question. So basically, I will use left join when I will have a doubt in my mind. Or see, left join is also a good thing. If you'll use left join, it's not wrong. But left join will handle all those cases where there are three people in Australia, three people from Australia, and two people have bought something from Australia. So in the top three list, the third people who is from Australia and has not bought anything will come to rank three with a zero. But if you'll use inner join, then from Australia there will be only two ranks, not
Mhm.
three. Is this thing clear to all of you? Any questions here? See, Mudita, this thing you cannot do without a CTE or a subquery. You have to use a CTE or a subquery to do this thing. Because, see, this where filter that I'm dropping here, the where filter that I'm dropping here, this where filter is basically something that you cannot apply in the single query, because in single query you are defining the rank in the select clause, and select according to order of execution. You cannot apply this rank less than equal to 3 in a single query. So we have to use a CTE here. Is this thing clear to you? Okay. Any other question from anyone? Please ask the questions if you have, because see, this is not a topic that you have to practice a lot in this topic. So if you have questions, you please ask those questions. Anyone has any questions?
He asked just now, like,
So I think there are
why?
no questions from anyone. So let's move to the next part of this. Okay. So now we'll start with the next topic, which is analytical window functions. Now in analytical window functions, there are many other things. So now I will tell you about basically what is like data frame. Like what is basically a frame or a range. So now in overclause, when you are learning about overclause, there is something known as range in overclause. So what is that range? That range is something by which you can decide your window size. So now, for example, if I'm using a window functions, I was doing just partition by and I was taking the whole. But now, if I want to decide the size of my window, or if I want to decide the sum, or if I'm doing any aggregation, sum, maximum, minimum, or anything, and I want to decide the size of my window, like I want to do a sum for this range or for this window size, then how we can do that? How many of you know this thing? Anyone who know this thing? Okay. So there is something known as rose clause. Rose. There is something known as rose clause. And in rose clause, there comes two things, which is preceding and following. So there is something named as rose clause. And in the rose clause, there comes something known as preceding and following. And there is a term which is known as current row. So current row is a row on which your pointer is there. Now there is something known as unbounded preceding. I will tell all these terms. And the person who got to know all these terms, his journey for window functions is best. So what is unbounded preceding? See, only knowing the theory is not good. You have to be very practical to use these things. So unbounded preceding, unbounded following. And after that, there is something known as n preceding, n preceding, n following. So this n preceding and n following is something that is used for giving a range. So now I will tell you like all these things, what these terms mean and why basically we use these things. So suppose there are three rows, one, two, three. Okay. So suppose this is my current row. Suppose this is my current row. So current row is something which points the current row on which the pointer is or index is. So just current row is basically on the row where you are. So suppose right now this is my current row. Is there anything before my current row? My question is there anything before my current row? See, if all of you will give me an answer, then I will feel like good and I will give you a like good explanation about these topics. See, if only 1%, 2% will say me the answer, like I will lose that motivation to teach you. Okay. So now there is nothing before the current row. So there, if there is nothing before the current row, then it is known as what? It is basically known as zero row preceding. So if it is known as zero row preceding, then what is preceding? So preceding is all the rows before the current row. So preceding is all the row before the current row. So if my current row is 1, then there is no row back to it. So there is zero row preceding. So if we have done any operations on my first row, for example, if I have done any operation on my first row, and that operation can be anything, sum, average, or anything. So if I am doing it on a zero row preceding, or then I will get a null value for the first row because there is nothing back to it. So for this value, I will get null. Now, if now second time my pointer is at here. Now, which row is the preceding row? Tell me. Which row is preceding row now? If the pointer is at 2,
Row 1.
first row. So, for example, if first row holds a value of 5, then if I have done a sum operation, what will be the value of sum in the second row? What will be the value of sum in the second row? The value will be 5 because first row holds the value 5. So the sum will be, because there is nothing before this. I am just telling you about preceding right now. Don't go in any other scenario. I'm just telling you about preceding. Preceding means a row which is before your current row. A row which is before your current row is a preceding row. Like for example, if me, you, and someone else are there. If me, you, and someone else is there, and you is my person who is at current, like he wants to see me and he wants to see someone else. So you is the person who wants to see me and someone else. Then me is at preceding place. Me is at preceding place. Now who is at following place? Who is at following place? At following place is someone else. So someone else is following you and me is preceding you. Is this thing, this example gives you what is preceding and what is following? The rows that are after the current row are following rows. The rows that are before the current row are preceding rows. Is this thing clear? If clear, then tell me clear. Otherwise, tell me that I have to move forward. Like, please give me response.
Yes. Clear.
It hardly takes a second to give the response. I don't know, every time I have to ask these things. Okay, now preceding and following chapter is over. Now, you know current row as well. Now, what is unbounded preceding? And when I will solve the query, you will get all these things very clearly. Just right now, try to understand the basics. Now, what is unbounded preceding? Unbounded preceding. So basically, unbounded preceding means all the values from starting of the partition to current row. So for example, in this question only, just take example of this. So this is my partition. This is my complete partition. So if I have given a range of, like I have written rows, just I have written something like this. Rows between unbounded preceding and current row. If I have written something like this, rows between unbounded preceding and the current row, if I have given a range like this. So for example, if I am at this place, for my first partition, if I am at this place, then which row or what rows will be there in the output if I have given a range like this? Tell me. If I have given a range like this, what rows will be involved from my partition Australia in this query?
1 and 2.
Om Rai is saying first row. Om Rai, see, I am including a word also. Including. Now tell me, Om Rai, how many rows will be there? So rows 1 and 2 will be the part of output. Rows 1 and 2 will be the part of output. Now, if my cursor is at here, now if I have given a range like this, what values will be there in my output? 1, 2, and 3. So this is like this, we can give a range. So if I have given rows between unbounded preceding and current row, which means 1, 2, 3, if I have at this place. Now, let's make this query little big. So I have give something like this. Now, my question again is, what is unbounded following? So if I have written rows between unbounded preceding and unbounded following. So if I have written this thing, rows between unbounded preceding and unbounded following, what this means? So tell me, if I have used this range for my Australia partition, if I have used this range for my Australia partition, how many rows will I get? Correct, all the rows from starting till last. So it's same like partition by. I just want to explain you what is unbounded following. So unbounded following basically means like it include all the rows from your current row till the last of the partition. So it includes all the row from your current row to the end of partition. Is this thing clear? So this is my unbounded preceding, unbounded following, preceding, following, rows between. So see, like this, you can give a range inside the over clause. And these all the things are used inside over clause. So now what we will do is we will understand the last part, which is n preceding, n following. N preceding, n following. This is our most important part now. N preceding, n following. So if I have written something like this, suppose I have written a query, select, select customer ID. Now I'm going to write a query, select customer ID, comma, my total order amount, comma, sum of total order amount. I have taken sum of total order amount and I have used over, which is my party, like over my, I'm going to apply window functions. So I'm going to write order by, or this I will write order by our like any column. So we'll take order by customer ID. Order by customer ID will do. And we'll write rows between one preceding and one following. And let's see what we will get as S from my orders table. Let's run this. See, this is something known as n preceding and n following. Let's run this and see what will happen. Okay. We have done select customer ID, total order amount, sum of total order amount over, and we are doing this thing. So now, when I was at this row, how many rows? See, I have done order by customer ID. So why I have done by customer ID? Because I'm going to explain you these things. Every time when you are giving a range, you have to give a range along with the order by thing. You can like I will explain you the scenario. First, I will explain you how this is working. So, is there anyone who can explain me how this is working?
I can explain.
Anyone who can explain me how this is working? See, when I was at my first row, I will start from my first row. When I was at my first row, what is like if I have written one preceding? So, is there any preceding row from my first row? Is there any preceding row before than my first row? So, one preceding means null because there is no preceding row. But tell me, and one following. So range starts from one preceding and one following. So at preceding, there was nothing. But tell me, one following, is there anything? At one following, is there anything? Yeah, there is anything, which is 9703. So now for the first row, what is the output? For the first row, what will be the output? For the first row, what will be the output? What is like how we are getting this output? First two rows sum. Correct. Now, for this row, how we are getting this value? Is one row preceding? What is at one row preceding? 8034. And what is at one row following? 5698. So if I have written rows between one preceding and one following, then tell me between one preceding and one following, how many rows are there for second row? 3. So the sum will be for all these 3 and it will come into this row. Are you getting this thing now? What is n preceding and n following? So there are very good questions that are on data lemur. And in that questions, they ask rolling average, rolling sum, 3 days rolling average, 4 days rolling average, 4 days rolling sum. At that point of time, this concept you have to use, which is range. So what is a 3-day rolling average? If a person is asking you 3-day rolling average, which means this thing. Every time when you have to find a 3-day rolling average, then you have to use this thing. Because see, when I was there, for how many days I am finding the rolling average? For 3 rows. So this is the syntax for finding 3 days rolling average. Now, if I have to find 4 days rolling average, what I have to change? Tell me if I have to find out 4 days rolling average, what I have to change? Correct. Two preceding. Correct. Very happy.
भैया टू फॉलोइंग क्यों नहीं कर सकते?
आ गया तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन, हम बोलने ही जा रहे थे. Now tell me if we have to find 5 days rolling average. ब्रो फॉलोइंग कर दोगे तो पीछे से स्टार्ट करते हैं या आगे से स्टार्ट करते हैं? संदेश, तुम्ही ने पूछा है ना ये क्वेश्चन.
हाँ हाँ, पीछे से स्टार्ट करते हैं।
स्टार्ट शुरुआत से करते हो आखिरी से?
पीछे से पीछे मतलब
Correct.
शुरुआत से।
If I have to find 5 days, then it will be 2 preceding and 2 following. Correct. So now I think that you are clear with this. So every time when you have to do questions in a range medium, 5 days, 4 days, and see, if I have to do something like this, I have to use order by date, which is my order date. And I will take order ID also to show you a better picture. So I will do it like this. So, and I will take your order date also here. See, if you understood what is range, then you are a person who can be very like it's easy for you to like there are many more concepts that are remaining in window functions. But why I'm giving a lot time to this thing, because this is important. So now see, I have done order by order date, which means it's starting from 12th onwards. So if I have done 2 preceding and 2 following, for first row, what will be the output? Everybody is clear. These 3 rows. For second, what will be the output? These 4 rows. But as we will come on third, how many rows will be taken? As we come on sixth, how many rows? 5 complete rows. So that is known as rolling average. So if anyone asks you, give me 5 days rolling average, 4 days rolling average, you are a person who knows how to do this. So I think today we will do till here only. I will take one more class for telling you first value, last value, entile, lag, lead. See, these are kids concept. This first value, last value, lead, entile, these are kids concept. Anyone can learn these things. I will teach you tomorrow, but anyone can learn. These are kids concept. The thing that you understood today was something known as window functions. That something is known as window. What is a window? Is everybody clear till here?